like if I were in a business meeting and it was tense and things were going bad and it was stressful, I'm sure they have their other side, but I didn't see it when when I interviewed them. They were all and just incredibly smart. I mean, every question I asked them for this documentary, they could talk endlessly about. And I don't think any of it was like pre-planned in their head what they would say. I mean, I'm sure that there was stuff that they didn't want to talk about, but it wasn't like talking points. It was conversational, and so I think they're just incredibly smart. Back to what you were saying about with the theaters, I had to keep telling myself I'm making a film about Donald Trump, so it's bound to happen that there's going to be a lot of people that do not want this film to be seen. So, like Facebook has been, Facebook is not hiding anything from me right now. I mean, if I post anything about my film, it's removed for the most sometimes for no reason, just reasons that make no sense because they can't really figure out what to tell me the reason is. But, it's like, hey, check out my movie, and I put the link to the trailer, removed. Like people aren't seeing my post. I'm completely shadow banned. People who share my movie, their posts are getting removed immediately. Again, you have to remind yourself you're telling a film about the one person who could bring down, all the globalists, and who the only politician who can't be bought, that he's the biggest threat, not to democracy, but to them, the people that are getting, kickbacks and this and that. So again, making a film about Donald Trump, it's bound to happen that people don't want this to be seen. And I think the theaters, somebody's telling them what to do for sure. That's just my opinion. I don't have evidence other than what I've seen them do to my movie in the theater and where they're putting it.
No, I like that.
And Chris, I would agree with you. And it's funny you say the biggest threat to democracy, which he is the biggest threat to democracy because we don't live in one, and they want one, which is mob rule.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to drop down and come back because I can't hear Shane or Tracy.
Okay. Can you hear me well, Shane and Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think just coming back up, we'll be able to hear you because I can hear Phenom. Shane, did you have more to that question, or do you want to open up the room?
No, we're good. I'm just driving back home quick, okay. So just give me a few minutes here. So I'll try to monitor the requests as they come in.
Yeah, please do that. Please watch my back out there. Thank you, Shane. And Phenom, she'll be back. And everyone in here, please share the space. I do want you to get out the information. For one, Chris, I mean, if you want to know my story, it's very easy. Tune in tomorrow night with us at Patriots Inside the Wire. It's everywhere. You mentioned Facebook, Chris. I am able to do it through the station, but I am careful because of, well, the same reason that you mentioned. So I have to make sure that everything is going right through the station if I actually go on there. And tomorrow night I will. I'm actually going to go on every site, so you'll all, no matter what you like, if you like Instagram or if you like X or you like Facebook, that's whatever you get, or you like YouTube or radio broadcast, we'll be able to get this out in the masses. So it will be there tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I see that Jonathan is up. Phenom, give me a signal there when you feel like you're back. Here, I'm going to add you. Let me add Phenom real quick, everyone. And I see this happening. So, Chris, this is your first space, right?
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's
really all right. Cool. Well, there you go, everybody. I'm supposed to say I'm glad to be your first, but I kind of feel weird when I say that I'm on X, and there you go. So I have to explain this. Like anybody out there, like right now, I've got you on you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, and you're on X, but I'm dealing directly within the X space right now. We are recording, just to let everyone know that is in this group right now. Please share that out again. Chris from Triple Martini Productions will be on again tomorrow night at 8 live. You will be able to see his video. And then we have our podcast channels. This is all about the film in regards to Donald Trump. It's a documentary. And so what bothers me is, even if I didn't have to tell you, I'm pretty sure you could guess though, is that I want the historical information. If my child's in a school learning about a different historical figure that I really not sure that I want him to, but hey, if we don't have both sides on this and we understand where we're going here in America, that bothers me. So I was very happy to get that the other person passed it up and said, Tracy will do it. I was like, yes, I will, because losing a son to this country and a border agent, both actively serving, being killed in the way that it happened, should never happen. And so I will always tell anyone our rights to every one of you, both lanes. There's 3 lanes really, but both lanes. Mine is my faith. I have to go with my faith above me. So I know that my son is watching and doing great. I have good days and bad days. I have mostly great days now. So that's a good thing. And I hope that we are all out there doing this, because the kindness matters. It really does. You got to be careful. One little thing, I really don't want to push someone one way or the other. It is so fragile right now with the elections. I mean, that's all I've been doing for about 10 months. I can't wait to get to music and functions, but I cannot wait for this election to happen. And I know all of you are feeling the same way. Chris, did you think that you would be this heavy into a election for the president? I don't think you did.
I mean, it was our hope that this movie would bring some more voters for our side, and when we saw what was happening with the theaters, that hope started to wane a little bit. But I mean, look at Elon Musk sharing our movie. Now we've got 47 million views on our movie, and maybe it's, and this is probably the best as a filmmaker, that that your movie is actually changing hearts and minds. It's actually doing something. It's about something that's current. I mean, something that we turned around so quickly to sort of save our country. And I can't compare myself to Frank Capra, because that guy is just a genius. But when he was making movies in like the 40s and 50s, and when World War II came around, he stopped everything he was doing, and he still picked up. He kept directing, but he was directing movies to help sort of the war effort, and patriotic movies. And I can't help but not. I mean, I feel a little bit like that's what I'm doing. It's a great feeling.
Wow. Are you there?
That might be one of my regrets, because I respect military or veterans so much, and law enforcement and everything. But I think that every American can use their profession to help this country in some way or another. And I do believe now is the time.
Is anyone else losing in here? Are you there, Chris, or am I able, or Phenom? Is it me?
Curious. Well, first I want to say, of course, it's hard to get a vapid Trump hater to watch anything like this. But for people who are kind of maybe centrist or feel like they're homeless, I think this is such a great way to sort of override some of the
I am not able to hear Phenom. Are you, Shane? You can hear Shane? You can hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you. Is Phenom speaking? Yep, reconnecting. Go ahead with it. So what's happening is we are muted right now, and we will be back up. If you're not hearing us right now, we will be on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time to get lots of information for you. I am having issues with the space, so
Good afternoon. Yes, I did. And I'm excited to actually talk to you. You know, I've had at least 4 different moments where my tears just came out. And because, when we talk about politics, we become very passionate, right? And we are invested in it. And it happens that we're not realizing that we are in this moment in time where it's so important. This is part of the history. And quite honestly, if you put politics to the side, this is a great businessman, a great family person, a great family man, and he is just the master of marketing. There is like nobody like him. You know, the situation with the garbage, it's just different instances where things have just been like completely turned around and use that as a leverage. And I think it's just great. But most importantly, I think it kind of gives you of what he is as a person, which not very many people have seen. So I'm glad that Elon like retweeted that. I can't remember who did I think I might have been from Elon that I got the link and I watched it right away yesterday, actually, by the way. And I think it's very important for the voters, because if we talk about being, conservatism, he is that kind of person. He is a family man, and yeah, he might have been married a couple of times, but even his relationship with his ex-wives, still, he has a really amicable relationship with them, which tells you a lot of the kind of person that he is. And the kids, if your kids are that great, obviously they had a great education, and it had absolutely nothing to do with money, because we have seen many kids from rich and famous people that are in the wrong side of the street. But these kids are hard workers. They're very well educated. They're very smart. They're articulate and care for their own families, and they care for the parents. And here we have Don Jr., that also has an ex-wife, but still, she's still tweeting about him and about his father-in-law. So you can tell that the relationship that they built is just a huge family, and they embrace every single one of them. And I can't remember was the African American lady that started as an assistant. Yeah, I thought she was the best, because she is like the very one example that tells you the kind of people that they are. And I think everyone should really watch it. I sent it to my kids, and I'm like, you guys need to watch this, because this is part of history, and it's the pieces that you later on will need to know about this person. So congratulations. I think it's an amazing film, definitely. And I am glad it came out right now. And we all should be trying to promote it a little bit more than what it has been so far.
Thank you for that, Nikki. Thank you. I love how you said that too. We're happy that Chris and Jonathan and the whole team were able to do this. You know, I asked earlier, and you didn't mention that part, but the financing and to put on a film of this manner, literally a documentary feature film, is quite expensive, Chris. So I am going to ask, you know, do you have help? You can't hear me, can you? Phenom can't. You can't hear me. Got it. Coming back. Here we go. Nobody's gonna like this. Here we go. We've got to shut it off. Shutting it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Come on, come on, come on. Literally, we're starting back up. And we are on X Spaces. Go in at Patriot on Air. Phenom and Shane are on there right now. You'll be able to hear them. Right now, I am locked out and trying to go back. So it's the man you don't know, Trump's director, which is Chris Martini. He will be live with us tomorrow night. So if you are not catching this, I want you to check out the live story. I'm trying to jump back in. This is what happens when you do multiple channels. Here we go. I'm running back into X Spaces. You just click on X, you go in, you go to your page. There we are. We hope that I'm jumping back in. Here we go. It's moving slow. It doesn't like what I'm talking about. And I am back. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm back.
The only time that he ever was not himself. And I'll let you guys see it to see what that was.
I'm back.
No, his remarkable strength is exactly what we need right now.
Are you able to hear me? There. Can you hear me now, Chris? Chris, can you hear me?
I can.
Yay.
Yes.
Thank you, Phenom. I want to say thank you to all of you. Phenom was sending me messages. She was correct. I could not hear, so I apologize, but thank you to all of you. I will let you know, Chris, one of the reasons is because I took a call that is from, if anyone's looking somewhere else, and I am on my phone, so it's not connected to my computer. I did get a message that said, yes, we are listening, we are watching. So he is watching. So I had to take that message, but it messed me up. So I apologize again. So continue on where we're at. Chris?
You mean he's watching the movie? He meaning
Donald
Trump?
Yes, they are. They've actually already started, but they were sending me a message to say that they're literally listening right now to us in this space. The individual that is with him has been on my show so many times. Anybody that's paid
Wow.
attention would know who it is. Yes, so they're actually listening right now. The film has obviously been right there. They're gonna watch and finish and have me an answer tomorrow or tonight. But I'm not going to take any more messages or calls because it messed me up the space. So I want to say thank you to Phenom for that.
That's incredible news.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I responded and it messed up. So continue. I did get to hear quite a bit. And how much time do you have, Chris?
You know, I have a pregnant wife at home and a 4-year-old and a dog. I better get back soon, but I'm actually having a lot of fun, so I'm not about to jump ship yet.
Gotcha. So Phenom and Shane, I obviously could not hear. But Chris, do you have questions about what you're hearing and being in the space and interacting?
I love hearing from other people more than hearing myself talk. So, I mean, if anyone else has seen the film, I would love to hear their thoughts. I think we should just open it up to other people. I mean, if anyone didn't catch sort of the making of this film, or, you know, I'm happy to go back to anything I said before, but I would love to hear from other people if they watched the movie.
So in the room right now, if you have watched the movie and you've been in a space, can you raise your hand?
See, someone just joined us. Oh, did he drop Steve? Are you still there?
I was looking for him. Where did he go?
You know, while we wait for someone to come up, you know, if you do a search online, like on Netflix, for instance, they're all negative. They are all negative about Trump. So it would be really great if people listening, if you've seen the film or not, you know, pin it to your profile for a couple days or share it to any DM groups you're in, and let's see how many people we can get to see this true side of Trump right before the election.
Definitely, I agree. That would be great. The film, if you have not seen it, as Phenom mentioned, she has it, what we call the nest. It's just above you. And that was put out, Brandon. We want to thank Brandon actually for actually being the first person to put that out. I'm sorry, Benny. I'm talking to
Benny
Brandon.
Johnson.
Yeah, Benny Johnson. And then Elon grabbed it for those coming in. It is free to watch. It's up in the nest right now. Phenom has it above there. And it's all over X. But as far as the reviews, Chris, have you seen those remarks?
Yeah, I mean, there's, of course, you know, we're getting a lot of hate, you know, probably from people who have never seen the movie and never will. That's understandable. But, you know, and honestly, this is what I pride myself on is emotion, bringing out the emotion, making people feel something. And I think, like, what conservatives in the arts don't do as well as people on the left is sort of, you know, just you know, crafting that story, you know, and they do it so well. This is why we're winning or we're losing the cultural war. I said winning because we may win it back, but like this movie, you know, I in order to tell Donald Trump's story properly, I had to tell a good story. And in order to tell a good story, you need conflict, and you also need to take the audience through all of the range of emotions. And so, if you take what this film is about and you just look at it as a movie, it also accomplishes that, and that's what the reviews, the comments are saying. You know, is people laugh. Because Trump's hilarious. Right? You're going to see that in this movie, right? You laugh, you cry, you get angry, you have joy. I mean, it takes you through all of that, and then just on top of that, it's about what's going on now. Literally, like we made this in 2 months before the election. We have things in this film that just happened. It's all happening in front of us, and so that's what the people are saying. and it's been great, and I thank Elon Musk. I think together, Trump and Elon could, they're going to fix this country, but I hope we also take the arts back, film and cinema, theater, painting, music, all of that stuff, dance, everything, poetry back to where it was when it was so great, like in the 40s and 50s, 60s, 70s, when we were, the rest of the world looked up to us in the arts, because the cultural side of our country is as important as anything else, because the culture is our children. Our children are absorbing all the music, the film, from their screens, and we also need to change the arts, and I think this film is going to help that.
I agree on the arts, music, film, all of that, the industries, especially in the schools. That's again, when I got a hold of this, and I know where you're at, you know where I'm at, just being involved with AFS here, or South by Southwest. I always want there to be that side given for each generation. So generations to come, this election is going to affect every generation after this, especially. So I was very, very grateful when it. I can't believe you're not going to do this, and I get it. Some people, it may be hard to maybe speak up, but I was, Shane knows me well, Phenom knows me. I just say it, the worst thing in the world's already happened to me. It's like I've already lost someone serving. I've already lost. And so, Chris, what you're doing is important, and it's called, freedom of speech, our amendments, our rights. So I am very happy that you, and for Jonathan, the work that you have to do to put out a film like this, I do know that it takes a lot. So I know that Jonathan had to do a lot of work as well, and not just him, your producer. So we're grateful to them. And then, you mentioned Elon Musk. He's been very busy here too. You're right around the same area. You know where I'm at. Very, very busy. So have you actually met Elon?
No, I mean, that would be amazing, and I would tell him exactly what I just said before.
Yeah.
There's a few people like Trump and Elon that actually could change the whole model of Hollywood, and Elon's doing it. This is the future. X is the future. There's I just joined X, and already I'm getting a lot of activity. It just, you can just feel it. There's no suppression here of content. I remember I made a film called Trooper back right after 9/11 about an Iraq veteran. I actually act in the movie, and I play the guy. But when I put that trailer out on YouTube, I couldn't believe it. Like, just so many views, and I was watching all the comments come in at once, and then something happened. I can't remember what year that was, but it might have been like, it was a little while after 9/11. It was like 2008, but that's when YouTube was a lot different. So I could see all my movement on my films at that time, and then it just. I think if you identified in that camp, I think around like 2008, 2009 is when they started sort of suppressing your content. So it's been a struggle for me to get my films out there, because I've always loved my country. I've always respected the military. My grandfather fought in World War II so that we could have our freedom of speech. So, like what is happening with this film is remarkable right now. The theaters, something was off. Somebody was like, pulling some strings to make this film, disappear. And then, within a day, my producer contacts X. Benny Johnson shares it. Elon shares it. We're at like 47 million views. Like we didn't take no for an answer. Like we're winning that battle as we speak. And so I love this platform. It's just great.
I think it's great, Chris. I started with X, and I still broadcast through to it. It's been a while since I've done Spaces. This is my second, and it wasn't when Elon had fully taken on what was formerly Twitter. So my account is low, everyone, even though it's verified. I was suspended through what I call the auditions that were happening early on in the election. And so when you see those low numbers, that's exactly what happened to me. I am glad too, Chris, that we do have someone speaking up for us when it comes to Elon. I do want your reactions, and everyone in here. I know that, did you see the remarks in regards to regulating social media and putting restrictions on us as far as social media goes? Did you happen to see that, Chris?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah. Did you, Phenom, Shane? I know someone in this room had to have saw that. You've seen the interview, I hope. Yes.
Which restrictions? I don't.
On social media. All of social media, that we're going to have to regulate it. We're going to have restrictions. These people should not have the freedom to go on there and just do what they want. So I was like, whoa. I don't use her name, but I'll say Drama. But I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You basically just told me you want to censor me. You want to regulate me, and you don't want me to speak. I heard it, and I went, and I don't even watch mainstream media. I saw Shane's hand go up. I think he's driving. Phenom, did you catch it?
No, I'm not driving, but Tracy, Governor Tim Walz has said this repeatedly, especially since he's been on the VP trail. He has repeatedly said that free speech doesn't give you the right to give out misinformation.
Correct.
And it goes down a litany of things that they now, President Harris has said the same thing, and
Yes.
they're double downing on it.
Yes.
I mean, they warn you of what they're going to do before they do it. This is the part that just it bewilders me. Department of Homeland Security just put out a warning the other day of, like all this potential chaos that's going to happen after November 5th. Well, that pretty much tells you it's probably going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's endless, like with all this.
So Shane, to reintroduce you, let me reintroduce you. Shane is on here as a representative. I wanted to reintroduce him. I apologize. Shane is actually in the state where the VP is running with Harris. And so Shane does have a lot of background information, and we've talked quite a bit. So Chris, I wanted to kind of give you that little bit of background there on Shane. He is the representative of the state for the VP on the opposite side of your documentary. So Shane, go forward. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, and Chris, I'm going to DM you my phone number because there's so much content that we can have fun with. But as you, I found I used to do everything on Facebook. I avoided then Twitter in part. I didn't understand it. I'm a little bit older, and tech is not my friend. But and then when right before Elon bought it, I started actually use it. And I discovered these things called Spaces. And I found it to be really interesting because you can reach a lot of people and a lot of ears. And then you can help them learn. That's not true. Like you could say that the governor didn't sign that bill, but here's the bill number. Here's the language in it. Here's the press conference he did. Here's how he bragged about it. And so I just found it to be a useful tool in that regard. And then you having your ability that you do, is also very instrumental. When we see all the stuff with the other movie, I can't remember the name of it now, but the child sex trafficking.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom. That's the only way I can think of was freedom. But all these messages need to be heard. And we have 325,000 children that have been lost in this country, and nobody knows what happened to them, and nobody seems to care. Or you don't have mainstream media talking about it. And then you have the suppression of what you went through. You have, I mean, I've seen this just from multiple levels. In 2020, Trump came back here right before the election to do a rally, and Governor Tim Walz then, due to the COVID pandemic, would not allow him to have any more than 200 guests at that particular rally. And that was in Rochester, Minnesota, the home of the Mayo Clinic. And so they had a field somewhere nearby, like, I don't know, 5 minutes away. And that's where everybody congregated, and it was thousands. So Trump drove over there first and then did his thing, and then he went back to the 200 that were that they had, and or airport hangar, whatever the case may be. But you see this whole suppression of our voices. Right, they'll stop at nothing. This is where Tuesday night is going to be one of the most, it's the most amazing time to be alive. I'm really optimistic. I think the American spirit is completely there. If they want to tell me we had 173%.
Yeah, I'm
Right,
trying not to I'm not trying not to feel too positive, because if I feel, I just don't want it, to go the other way. So I'm trying to be realistic. I just, I just, there were shenanigans when I went into vote here in Brooklyn. I mean, and so you just don't know what's going to happen. You know who I want to win. And so you can only
just so we can stay on topic here, Chris, where do we have the speaking coming from? Everybody could hold on a moment there. Phenom and I were talking. We want to try to get to the topic of the film. If you have not seen it, The Man You Don't Know is out on X. Chris is with us, Triple Martini Productions. They have put this out. You're able to see it. Thank you, Phenom, for watching, and Shane for that in regards to the other side there. I see a couple of hands up, Chris, and Phenom, since you're very knowledgeable in watching this while I'm also watching other areas. Would you like to take some of the hands here as questions?
Yeah, we've got some folks that jumped up.
Wonderful.
I think Terry has not spoken yet, so let's go to Terry next, then we can see if Dozer has another comment. Thank you, Phenom, so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, hi, Terry.
Hey, how is everybody?
Good.
Yeah, we're down to the count now, so it's very nerve-wracking, but at the same time, I know that God's on the throne. He's got a great plan. But with that being said, Shane, I know that you've seen in your state, in Minnesota, some rally that folks and leadership have endorsed President Trump. That was the greatest shock to me ever. I'm sure you've seen it. It's just very interesting to me that that the Somalians are coming out against the Democrat Party. Have you seen that?
I did see that actually. We actually have. I saw two different. There's one tribe as well. Is that what you're talking about, Terry? There were two.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that was great. Have you actually seen the film there, The Man You Don't Know, that we're in here about? I wanted to know if you've seen it. Okay.
I shared it, and I'm going to go back and
good.
watch it here in a little bit.
I want to know. Sure. Thank you. It's nice to connect with you again. I'm back on this one, so I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of the film. I would love to hear your information back on that. That would be great. When I'm live tomorrow, I can get your feedback. You can send me a message.
Wonderful that y'all are having this space to share out this film, because it's not being really out there much other than this. I mean, Betty Johnson is so busy with all these rallies and whatnot that everything gets kind of tucked away, you know. So thank you ever so much for hosting this space. And Phenom, you know, I love you, and I continue to pray for you. And yeah, we've got a great country to save, and I'm reposting things that I'm seeing, but because my account's locked, which is the way I prefer it to be, I don't want a whole big bunch of people. You know, my circle is small, and the people that I love are in my circle, and that's good enough for me. So thanks for the mic. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, of course. It's good to hear you. It sounded like Aaron Lewis. The Aaron Lewis song was about to come on. I love how you said that. That's what it reminded me of. And also, we have a hand up here as well, Phenom, with Dozer. Dozer?
It seems like the movie's like pretty legit, so I'm gonna watch that. Said that link that you guys had is that something Tenders is that on Benny Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna watch the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I also wanted to say that at school, so they divided all of the class hours, the top class hours, or at each hour at the school, the class in that hour with the most students was an electoral college, is basically like a state. So you had eight states, and then each of the teachers, they could have been electoral college, but only 2 teachers voted, and the rest of them didn't vote. They didn't want to make anyone mad. So 2 teachers voted, and they voted Democrat, but Trump won all of the classes. So when he did a pie chart, it was only like 1% or 2% that was Trump. The rest, Biden. But the rest of it was Trump. My heart was beating. So it wasn't my smile was through the roof. All my classmates, they were like, this is your pie chart, Dylan. My name's Dylan, by the way, but I was really excited when I got to see Trump was the biggest on the pie chart at the school.
Beautiful.
That's great. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I just said beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to hear that about the schools. I agree.
All the students would love to see this film. You should definitely share it around campus.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not at an actual like campus or college. I'm still in high school. I'm only 14 at the moment.
Aww.
So.
Oh, that is so awesome to hear. I was going to ask you what grade you're in. You don't need to tell us what school that you attend, but that is so amazing. It warms my heart to hear that our youth is really getting involved and taking note of suppression and also, you know, an interest in saving our country. So nice to meet you on here. I followed you.
I did.
Who is that? Who's talking?
Terry. She's right beside you. Well, you just moved there, but she's got the lock.
I really appreciate that. at school there, and all my classmates, they don't understand the importance of this election. Like, if Trump does not get elected, like, we are totally screwed. Like, we're going for nuclear war. Like, it's basically like the final election of the entire world. Like Trump does not get elected, the whole world is screwed. Like the entire world.
So I want to kind of settle you down on that. Just
Good, Terry.
Because, yeah, it's not the end of the world. Okay, we've been through. I'm 60 years old, and we've been through a whole lot of stuff. So don't get yourself freaked out. Like it is going to be okay. All right. So I mean, I understand what you're saying to your friends.
It is gonna be okay. Like even if we die, if we practice our faith, we'll go to heaven. Like
that's right.
Our body is not the end of us.
No, I just
that's very true.
It is.
I'm like, he's 14.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want him to think it Trump doesn't win is the end of the world.
I know.
Okay, I just want to protect him in that way and just let him know it's going to be okay.
I felt the same thing as a mom, Terry. So thank you. Yes, definitely. As a mom, and you're 14 and here listening, and so be sure to share the film with your friends there. All of you in here, but especially you. You're 14. You're close to the age of my youngest. And so The Man You Don't Know, the documentary film, Chris Martini, Triple Martini Productions. We've got Jonathan in here. Ascension is the name. Was that the original production company, Chris?
So again, this film was not, my company didn't produce it.
Right.
It was Global Ascension Studios
Mm-hmm.
produced it. They're the production company. Joshua Machello
Mm-hmm.
and Arthur Sarkisian. Arthur Sarkisian did the Rush Hour movies, has sort of a long track record in Hollywood. Josh is sort of the guy that makes it happen. And a brilliant mind, also very creative. And we're all conservatives, so that helps, right?
Yeah, that helps. That sure does. No, I wanted to say thank you to them because I know you're the director, but I want to make sure that we recognize all of the people literally like behind a film, everything from your grip boy to your, there's a lot of people that had to go in and work on this. So we just appreciate everybody.
Yeah, actually, you reminded me,
Good.
we made this film in 2 months to get it out.
Yeah.
The election. And so the shooting was, relatively normal. Chad Campbell, my cinematographer, who's from Dallas, Texas, was amazing. Our composer, Tony Neiman, he's actually from Rome, Italy. Brilliant composer. These guys made it happen. But on a documentary that's being finished in 2 months, it all comes down to editing, right? It's the editing that takes up most of the time. David Wilson, who's out of LA, was our editor. And then we had, this is the beauty of modern technology. We had, 8 or 10 editors all over the country working from home on the same movie. And with all these people working at once under this tight deadline, we were able to make this happen. And then, of course, the guy who mixed all our audio, Chris Cook, who won an Emmy Award, great guy. He's done all my movies. He's out of New York. And these are the people that made it happen.
That's wonderful. That's what I wanted to do, is definitely make sure that we remember, because of 2 months. When I heard you say that, I'm like, oh my goodness. This is a large feature film. This is a large documentary. So that is a lot of work with a lot of people that came together in order to support patriots in support of this country. So Chris, just hearing that's very motivating to me to hear that group came together like this.
There's a lot of conservatives in the film industry and probably in other arts also. It's really, really hard when you have a family, you're trying to put food on the table, to say who you are and what the politics are. I mean, the irony is that if you're not if you're not voting for Trump, if you're not a Republican, you can talk politics all day long on a film set, you know. But if you're a conservative and you happen to want to vote for Trump and support Trump, you literally have to live in fear, like it's East Berlin, you know. But the tides are changing. I think you're going to see more conservatives in the arts. There are many that start to speak up, and you know, and we need people to do that. As scary as it is, I think we have to all understand that God will provide. And I think you know, there's something to be said for being courageous and, you know, risking your livelihood to stand up for the things that you believe in. I mean, most people of faith do that. So, you know, it's scary, but, you know, if there's anyone in the arts, you know, it might be worth the risk because God does always provide. I really believe that.
I do as well, Chris, and everything you're saying there. So I want to make sure that we get this out. We get The Man You Don't Know. It is a film right now. It is free. It is on X. It went through Benny, and then Elon Musk has it out. So we have a few more questions I'd like for Phenom to take. She has the questions herself. I'd like to get her to get those questions out here, Chris. And let's see what they are.
Well, I think I've asked. I think he's answered most of my questions, but I guess I'm just wondering, will you face any backlash? You know, a lot of people that come out in conservatism, you know, face that. And have you noticed any of that happening? I'm sure many are also rallying around you, because we know a lot of that backlash is just a loud minority. But I'm just curious of what you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. So in 2019 is when I came out sort of all the way as a conservative, just sort of vocal. It was COVID. It was COVID. It's just everything turned into the twilight zone when COVID came around. And then, you know, the George Floyd riots really upset me because, you know, I didn't like the double standard of seeing our country destroyed and being egged on by politicians, you know, for telling people to go out and destroy our country, you know. But then, you know, when patriots assemble, you know, it's worse than Pearl Harbor, you know, or 9/11. It's ridiculous, the double standard. I just decided I had to speak up, and I lost a lot of friends. You know, I noticed, you know, people were unfriending me on social media, and then people who I had no interaction with ever would come. They didn't care if I made a great film about this or that. They didn't care if I had a baby or this or that. Just people who were in my circle. The minute I started talking politics, they showed their face, and I just had to get rid of some people, and the people who are left are my true friends, so I don't regret it for a second. But I never started getting hate messages from random people in the public until I made a film about Donald Trump. So that, you know, even when I did my film about Scott Lebedo, you know, I didn't really receive sort of random stuff from people I don't know. But, you know, now I'm starting to get that stuff. You know, like I got a message from somebody that said, you know, you're a shame. Shame on you. You're a disgrace to the film industry. You're a propagandist, this and that. And, you know, it didn't make me upset or sad at all to read that. You know, because when someone you don't know goes so far to look you up, to send you that message, then you know you've done something right.
Especially when it's some anonymous person, you know, it's just.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Trump. If he's getting all this hate, and this is why I support him, you know, in 2016, when he announced his candidacy, that's when all this craziness started happening, right? Because he opened this Pandora's box. He he revealed all this nasty stuff that was sort of embedded in our society on every level, not just politics, but like, you know, he exposed people in the arts, you know, and sort of like everything. And that's when they started to attack him. So I you know, the way my mind works is if someone's inside, you know, sparks all that hatred, you have to ask, what is it about themselves that is being revealed? You know, and that's the beauty of Donald Trump is he's, you know, I truly believe that he's weeding out all the that he can weed out and fix all the problems in this country.
I agree. So we call it keyboard warriors. I definitely have the experience. And so on our broadcast, literally, we actually have Patriot security. You know, there's actual security now because of, you know, so the story is, I'll tell the true story here. I have someone that I know that is a veteran. It's a female. And based on just trying to work within different realms, which I work with Rosie the Riveters too, the trust, but I'm a Gold Star mom, which is different from being a female veteran. And this veteran, while they support Chris and his work tremendously, felt that they would not be the correct person to put this out. And so when Chris, they kept trying to connect us and it just wasn't, they weren't responsive. Let's put it that way. You know, they may not agree with everything that we're talking about. At least they were agreeable to find someone who would put it out. So Chris, I'm glad that they did do that. And I, of course, yeah, so just so everyone knows, I was like, well, I'm trying to talk to him about an X space, and Phenom and I have tried to talk to, actually, it's Trump's best friend. I'm going to have to get with him in person, but I'm glad we were able to get you in here. I am glad that you're able to see what it is in X spaces. It can be unbelievable. Phenom has been in here and had General Mike Flynn, Mike Lindell, and honestly, both sides of the coins. I know with me, I won't speak for Phenom and Shane, but I can tell you that I have been in different spaces and I have been able to hear both sides. And so I don't want to censor. I want us all to be able to get that. I do like what you're saying about the arts. I'm glad that you're in here. I'm glad that I didn't even have to like coach you into how to doing it too much. So, and Jonathan. So I hope you're liking this experience. I will let you know that, you know, I don't do mainstream media, but I have been able to find good people. And literally, like you got Shane up there, but there are politicians, ironically, I tell everybody, I'm like, they're people. They're not like a god or they're not risen above us. They work for the people. So for patriots, you know, get out there and vote. Look at this film. The Man You Don't Know is a story about the man that's a humanitarian, a grandfather, a father, and so many areas that everyone used to just love. If you've looked at your history there, Trump was loved until he stepped into office. And, you know, the one thing that he said that I'll never forget is he said, someone asked him, have you ever been just thrown off by something? Have you ever been just kind of like, oh boy, this is more than I can handle on anything? And he said, the only time that it has ever happened to me was when I had to step into that office for the Oval Office that day. I went, oh boy, this is a big undertaking. And he said that's the only time that he's ever felt like, okay, this is going to be huge. I'm going to get in here. And he got his feet wet and he was able to do work. And we want him to continue to do that work. I do. And that's why, you know, I was more than happy when I found you. I wish it'd been 3 weeks earlier, but everything happens for a reason. So I'm glad that Benny got it. I did want it out in the theaters. I would have loved to have it. You know, I'm trying to get it actually as private screenings. So if anyone out there is listening and you'd like to get it in an area or private screenings or anything, I know it's on X right here. We have a lot on X, but not everybody. I push for it. But I was asked about a private screening, Chris, so you'll be able to give me that on the back channels. And to sum that up for Shane, you mentioned standby. You mentioned phone numbers. I don't do that in a DM. I will put you together. I have your number and I have Chris's as well. So Chris, if you're okay with that, I'll go ahead and share the number for Shane and to Chris instead of doing that through social media. I think that's smarter. And Phenom is about to jump off. So Phenom, do you have...
Thank you for having me. It was really great to see everybody and for getting to know a little bit about your work and the effort you've put into this. So I wish you the best of success and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Phenom, so much. We could not have pulled it off last minute without her. So thank you, Phenom.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tracy. It's
of course.
Phenomenal. I really love doing this, you guys. I'll be back. I'll see you tomorrow. But if anyone wants to look at my work, it's TRIPLEMARTINIProductions.com, TRIPLEMARTINIProductions.com. You can see some of the other stuff I've done there too. But thank you for the support, you guys. Please, not just me, please try to support other people in the arts that are actually, speaking to the values that we care about. If we don't support other artists, then we're not going to get the kind of content that is meaningful that can help our country. Anyways, you know what I'm saying.
I definitely do. Don't worry. So again, for everyone in here, thank you so much. Please follow. This is the broadcast channel account that is verified, again, because of the suspension before in the beginning of the elections. My son's account, Sergeant Two Step, is still up. That's for legislation, so I try to leave that one alone. But if you'll follow here, this one is with the broadcast tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Chris will be on live with us, so you can watch it right here on X. It will air there, and there's multiple other locations. But as you can see, you're all on X right now. It's very easy for you. Just look for Patriot on Air, the account, follow it, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You'll have Chris Martini. You'll also have Moms for Liberty out of Pennsylvania, which we need. And then you will also have a congressional individual out of Las Vegas. So in Vegas and in Texas, that's where I'm getting the questions on the private screenings, Chris. So by the time we talk tomorrow, you can give me an answer on that. Again, I apologize for the interruption, but it is a great interruption because of who it was. So we've already got a message. So I was glad to see that, Chris. I'm glad they got put out. Jonathan, thank you for everything that you're doing, and the whole team for the editing, the music production. I heard that you mentioned where he is. I mean, what an undertaking, Chris. That it's an amazing. I wonder what the fastest time is. I'm going to look it up to put out a fully functioning film where the level of the art that's there, the editing, the music, it's beautiful. So I wonder what the fastest time is that someone did do this. But 2 months is definitely something to be proud of. That is a lot of work for a lot of people. So I wanted to make sure to thank everybody and to be sure that they go watch The Man You Don't Know. It is right up in the nest. It is free. And then we'd like to see it, Chris. I'd like to see it back in a couple of theaters. There's some people who still aren't on X. So again, I have tried with some of them. They even one is his best buddy, and they just Tracy, we're just kind of set. We're working nonstop. We're here, we're there, and I'm like, it's not that hard. But it's not that they don't know how.
There's going to be, there'll be another streaming platform that will pick it up after.
Oh, definitely, definitely. So again, tonight, it is getting close. So that's why the shows tomorrow, you'll have a heavy hitter. Chris will be there. If you don't know who Moms for Liberty are literally in each state, but we picked Pennsylvania and a couple of areas on purpose. Shane, get in touch with me if you're interested. You could sit at the round table with us. This will be live. It's a live stream. So you will be able to catch it. If you don't catch it live, you can catch it later as well. So thank you for joining us. I hope that you all follow. Please go watch The Man You Don't Know. And it is a true story. I do happen to know, if you go look at that profile picture, the reason that I put tags all on it, that's a real picture. That's a picture of Trump. And it's at a circus. It's the Barnum and Bailey Circus. There's an elephant way before The Apprentice, way before The Man was on TV in Vegas. So when I was handed that picture, you mentioned your grandfather, Chris, serving, so did mine. So, I have that from family, and they went, "Hey, Tracy's the Trump person. Give it to her." And I was like, "I'll gladly take it. It's an original." So you don't find those much. But I was like, wait a minute, there's an elephant. I definitely want it. And then, for me, just as a mama, my son's unit, theirs was elephants for the infantry of the 164. So I thought, you know what? This is perfect. Very, very perfect. Thank you, Chris.
Love it.
I love it
Guys,
too.
thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
We're glad to have you. So everyone here in the space, thank you for joining us tonight. We're glad that you're here. I know that Chris, like he mentioned, has a little one and a lot going on. So we're glad that you could take this time. Chris, I happen to know about your music. Is it Billy Joe? I'll have to go look her up, but they reached.
My wife actually, sorry to cut it, but my wife
Is she okay?
Any day now, so I could have to go to the hospital today.
Right.
Anyway,
that's what. Yeah, that's why I was saying we are so grateful for your time. I know that is one of those possibilities. If you don't make it at 8:00, I will know that you'll send me a text that your wife is having a baby. So I would say, no, don't you dare jump on.
It's all happening during the election. Nothing's ever easy, right? We're probably going to go into a civil war too. So.
Oh, no. Anyway. Well, we'll just stay positive. We'll end on a positive note. Is it a boy or a girl, Chris? It's a girl?
A girl.
A girl. Okay. Do you already have a name?
It's not finalized, so I'm not going to say anything.
Good. All right. Your wife would be happy with that answer. So we thank her too. Thank her for her time. I know that you've been trying to get everything done. So I appreciate it. I know we all do. So your work, Jonathan, again, and everyone else for your work on The Man You Don't Know. After you're off of here, please, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's free, and it is something that whichever aisle you put yourself, anybody is going to find that you can relate to someone who is a father, grandfather, humanitarian side. And I hope that I can't twist you, but I'm going to tell you, I have a personal experience in a loss of a son and a border agent, Marines, that could not survive on U.S. soil. We do need someone in there strong. We need someone who can step right in and immediately take the actions that we need in this country. I'm not afraid to say that. I am afraid for you to be in my seat, which means your child is gone. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to tell you the truth. So again, tomorrow night, you'll be on with Afghanistan 13 father, myself as a Gold Star mother, and a border angel family, both killed. And I won't get into that part, but we thank you for being here. We thank you all. We hope that you have voted. If you have not, please, please, please grab whoever you can. Take more people with you to vote. And let's rock this thing out and get it done and get Trump in. So, Chris?
I voted.
Well, good for, 14. Those are, I heard that. We're going to be ending it, except that I will say this. My 15-year-old dozer is 6'2" and 240. And as I went to vote, they were like, oh, would he like one? And I said, no, he's not old enough. So hopefully they were going to ask for his license in a minute. But yeah, I know that experience. But I'm glad to hear that at 14, you literally have that knowledge and information. That makes me happy. So, Chris, it's been great having you. I know that I need to let you go or your wife is going to find me. And you're about to have a baby, and I want you to have that experience too. So we've got this, and I'll be in touch.
You
About
guys,
tomorrow.
thank you so much. Take care.
Yes,
Take care,
thank you,
everybody. Be
Chris.
safe.
Thank you. And thank you, Shane, for sticking in here and co-hosting. If anyone has any questions, I am here. I can be here for a little longer, as long as Shane, if you can, Shane, it's up to you, Shane. Are you listening? Oh, you might be dropped out. I cannot hear you.
He doesn't have a mic on my screen, so I think he might be in Twitterverse.
He's definitely roaming somewhere. Shane, if you can hear us, we cannot hear you. So, and you are the co-host, hon. So, but going down here, I do see you, Brent. I'm going to look down here. Is there anyone else in this room that has actually watched? There he is. Okay, he's awake again. Shane, did you actually watch The Man You Don't Know? Did you actually watch it? I can't hear you. You might have to drop and come back. Before you do that, though. Julie? Whoa, wait a minute. Is it him?
Somebody if you need to throw somebody in ghost to have a backup, you can throw me in.
That's what I was looking at. I didn't want Shane to go anywhere until we had someone in place. So Shane, you might have to drop and come back because we can't hear you, hon. Can you hear me?
Shane, I can't hear her. She's going to drop you out and bring you back as co-host.
You drop yourself out, actually. He knows how to do it. Julie, did you get to see the film?
I didn't. I was going to watch it last night. I ended up posting a space all night long.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to make sure I stick by what you're doing there. After going in, my gosh, for the election between broadcast, radio, everything. I love X Spaces. That's where I started. Well, I mean, when it was there, previously being in radio and stuff, I love that. So I have found, mentioning X Spaces, I have a lot of individuals, just different age ranges. It just depends. They'll literally say to me, I'll be live, Shane's heard it. And I'll say, yes, on X. And they look at me sideways. And I'm like, you seriously have to know what that is by now, right? I mean, it's formerly Twitter. And if you're old enough, I'm not. But MySpaces, so MySpaces and Twitter had a baby. Ha ha, bad joke. It's X Spaces. So in X, you can have a space. This one's recorded. It's all about the man you don't know, which is Donald Trump. We have voting November 5th. In my life, it's with my son, but in life in general, is going to be one of the most historic days that we are going to have in this country. So I hope that you're all grabbing 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, your neighbor, anyone beside you. Are you voting? Are you voting? I literally grabbed someone related to me and said, you are voting, or I will never talk to you again. So they went and voted. So they get kicked out of the house. But Shane, we can't hear you. But Julie, I know that we can hear you. Is there anyone else in the room here that you want to speak, or you have actually seen The Man You Don't Know, which is by Triple Martini Productions is the director. Chris, he'll be on with me tomorrow night. And Moms for Liberty, we can't leave them out. Pennsylvania and Vegas. We're pretty smart about why we are choosing certain locations. Shane, if you can hear us, we want you at the table. It's the red table. It will be streaming. Everyone can see it on this channel. So we're going to get you in there, Shane. He's so busy between the VP on the opposite side of the aisle. And I keep saying aisle because we've been talking about theater. He has so much information and knowledge because that is the governor of the state where he is a politician. So, man, I hope, Shane, you need to drop out and come back, and you really need to tell everyone in this space the stuff that you can say, because they need to hear some of the things that even I know. I wish that you would, in this space, please let people know why they should not be voting for someone who has been the governor in your state where you actually serve. And I know you have to be careful here. So if you need me to say it, I'm fine with that. But you're going to have to drop out and come back because we can't hear you. So for everyone that's in here, Shane is a representative in the state where we have the governor running as vice president with Dramala. That's the name that I choose. It's free country. So Shane happens to have, man, the knowledge and background. And if you did some yourself, we don't like to throw out things that could be just a false rumor. And that is where Shane has been literally, I'm not kidding you, in the bottom basement of libraries with staff just digging for things because they are on a team that they have to be able to prove this. They have to be able to have factual information. We obviously don't want something thrown out there that isn't, just to scare you or give you information false. We won't do that. So I'm hoping, Shane, you can come back, please, because we cannot hear you, hon. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, I hope that you do. Or if you don't, let me know that you need me to tell you.
Just in case you were away from your phone and you can't hear,
Uh-huh.
drop out and come back. Because we all know sometimes the host is the only person people can't hear.
What is with that? Can you hear me, Julie?
I can hear you. I would say, why don't you drop him out?
Okay.
And then he'll notice that he's dropped out.
All right. He's gone. Shane, you better come back. Now, can everyone else hear me? I did not take phone calls. I literally disconnected everything. It's interesting you said that, Julie. I don't know what it is. It's something about being the host. There's a reason that I chose this account. I don't want it to be my son. I didn't want it to be his account. So this is an account we're rebuilding. And it will be various topics. I am okay with the truth. I am okay with what I know that Shane has been put in a position to find the facts on. I like that people will find the facts. So that's good for all of us. But with Chris, again, Chris Martini, you can find him at Triple Martini Productions. He does a lot of music videos as well. And so I do know him through the music industry and some amazing, talented people, and another broadcaster who I cannot convince them to change their mind. See, I won't do mainstream media. They won't change their mind, but I definitely keep driving home the true facts of everything that I can put in front of someone. So I like to do that. Again, there are keyboard warriors. There are people that need to understand that kindness matters. You know, the worst thing in the world has already happened with me. So I say stay away. If you don't like it, just don't watch. And then with the broadcast, we will be live. We will have a powerhouse of actually females. And, you know, we did that for a reason. If I hear anymore that everybody needs to vote because it will be the first time we have a female president, it's just like, that is the last reason. Number one, you don't get to go apply for a job on your resume and say, hey, this is because of this. No. I tell everybody, even my son, no. You're the CEO of what you do. You better know your facts. If you're qualified for the job, you're qualified. If you're not qualified, it is not because of we want a first female. Listen, we've already had a first female. Right now, this vice president could do some of the things that we've all challenged. I've said, okay, go do this right now. You're saying you're going to do it. Do it right now and prove it. Do it. I guarantee there'd be so many people. But no. I will tell you my own personal. My own personal is that I had a son who served under the Obama administration. He served under the Bush administration. I have worked with the Trump administration when he was killed. I have all three. That doesn't mean I literally personally worked beside them. That means that I had to, unfortunately, work with multiple for different reasons. And you do not want the Obama administration in over our military again, not just military, patriots. When I say patriots, I mean the people. So that's done. But when you go vote for drama, you're voting for Obama and the Clintons. So unfortunately, you will have, I don't know, you give me the O-face print, you know that. He's in Canada, but that's my own personal piece. I'll put it in there. If you haven't seen that, there's a clip. All you got to do is your own research. You'll see it, where Obama is talking to Drama. I have to say her name that way. I apologize, but I do. I won't get riled up. I just tell you to go do your research, get your homework done, just like I tell my kiddo. Boy, they are doing it at the school. We had Dozer in here. You know, my son is close to that age, and he'll come home and give me information. I'm like, thank goodness. But I am smart about where I put him as far as school. So we will be back on radio here within about a week. I love radio. I can't wait to get back to it and working with our musicians. The broadcast, I'll be able to switch gears for 10 months or more. It's been the election. Nobody gets paid, just like Chris was there, Triple Martini. I mean, there's a lot of people doing a lot of work just to get you some true information. So I can't wait until we get the news in about Trump is our president who can step in. Nobody needs to hold a hand, knows exactly what to do as soon as that happens and immediately get to work. So, and that's what we need. We definitely need that. You know, and maybe down the road, listen, Trump's not going to be able to run again. So things are going to get done. Things are going to get cleared up. All of us are never going to agree. That's what I tell everybody. We're going to have to agree to disagree on some things. But let's take the resume and look at statistics. I do have something for you. If you'll look up, it's called gasandgroceries.us. Again, it is gas, A&D, gas and groceries.us. Put in your zip code. You'll see what you're paying now versus the prior administration. You'll start seeing the facts. And that's been going around. So we want you to be aware of that. I don't know if you're also aware of your water. I want you to pay attention to that. There's some issues there. Dozer, I noticed, you know, you're only 14, but as with my brother farming and having land, there's an issue right now with our land. There's so many topics that we could get into that I don't want to get into all of them. If you want, you can go back and look at the shows, but I do want you to all have your information. So if you have any questions and you're just listening and you'd like to talk, please raise your hand. So I will quit talking.
I put the gas and groceries link right in the Google field down below.
Oh, good. Yes, yes. If you put in your zip code, the broadcast station's turned on. So all it has right now is a picture of Trump and the person I keep talking about. And that was the phone call that I got when Chris was in here. So they definitely are paying attention. I can tell you that one of the individuals, and it's not Trump, was like, Tracy, you need to come down to the office for this whole X-Space thing. We're running like crazy. Literally, they are. It's like not a second to stop and sit in a space. And like, you don't understand. It's easier than jump. You're thinking it's a lot of work. It's not. You literally just jump in, put in some headphones, just listen if you don't want to talk. So I will make sure that happens, except they were just on recently. So who else in here would like to talk, or do you have a question, or maybe you have your own thoughts that you would like to give? I know I'm glad that Elon Musk, I mean, there's mixed feelings for a lot of people there. I am glad that he took the film of The Man You Don't Know and then put that back out. And I'll have to look again. It was 48 or 49 million. And what Chris will get into tomorrow night is the email that I've actually seen, and what happened in New Jersey and what happened in Maui. It happened in Maui, the worst one. I was like, my goodness. And even just banning it in New York, of all places, I thought, wait a minute. That baffles me. So I do want to do my history homework on hopefully getting that out on this film. But for those of you who are on X right now, or if you're listening on another, remember I've got other stations on. Go on to X and look at The Man You Don't Know. It's literally, there's a X profile name for the actual documentary now that is on the actual man you don't know, Donald Trump, who is more than just someone who is a president, who is more than someone who's in business. You know, I try to tell everybody kindness matters, and people, you know, we got to be nicer to each other, and we have to take care of each other. There is a healthy way to debate. There is a healthy way to disagree. I don't want to push someone over the edge. I do want to get all the information. I see your hand there, Dozer. We've got the 14-year-old in here that I am happy. Go for it.
I was wondering, so you said farmer?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did you say that your son or your brother?
My brother that I raised had a bunch of land and farming, has been in my family. My brother is no longer here. If anybody looks it up, you can look at either 30 by 30. I don't want to get into the details of what it is yet at your age. I don't know if your parents are heavily involved in politics or not, but if you just look up either 30 by 30 or land grab, you'll find some information about the farms and the ranchers right now, and what's happening. And the numbers are astounding. If anyone pays attention to the veterans, you'll hear the number 22 a day. Right now, that is equal with our farmers and ranchers because of what's happening to them. So I do hope.
What happened to him? Was he part of the statistic or not?
He's definitely not a statistic. I don't put people as a number, but he definitely is someone that was, I'm trying to watch your age here. He is someone that his land was being taken from him. He is someone that his rights, his land, his guns, you name it, they were literally taking it because of different species that are being said they're being found. Do your homework on that one. Look up 30 by 30, look up land grab. All you got to do is search it. But
how much is the land still in the family? Is the farm still operating or no?
It is. It's
How many acres is it?
It's quite a bit. It's I'm not going to get into the full details of it because we're on a public space here. What about you? Are you with your family? Do you? I noticed in your profile.
It's a family farm.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Grandpa, dad.
Yes.
Sister, me. Like our farm, 3,000 acres.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Like.
Thank you.
Farm, like how many acres is your farm?
It's going to be around the number that you just said, but a little more. But I am proud of the work that you're doing with your family. So keep doing it.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. That's how you're so smart.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the compliment. What state is it in, though?
I am in multiple states. I'm not going to do the public information right now. I'm on multiple broadcasts, Dozer.
How does that work? How do you on multiple broadcasts?
I am a broadcaster who's been in broadcast and radio for a long time. So I am able to be in a station. I could be in a station and plugged in. Tune into tomorrow night at 8. You'll see. You'll see literally visually Chris Martini, who was just in here. you'll visually see the show. Afghanistan 13, if anyone recognizes that in here, I hope you do. My co-host is Jim McCullum. I always say their names. Riley McCullum, Lance Corporal in the Marines. That's my co-host. And then you have me, and my son is Sergeant Two-Step. So we say prayers. Brent, you can put some information down there if you want. But 8 p.m. Central Time. Where are you at, Dozer? You don't have to give me.
I'm in the state of Minnesota.
You're right near Shane. Do you know?
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. Well, Shane can give you this. Yeah. Shane knows me well.
I was in this one space, and we were talking about the Constitution and a bunch of other stuff, and I said that I was in the state of Minnesota, and then they mentioned the state representative. I hope he's the state representative because it said rep.
He is. Yeah.
So then I reached out to him, but I couldn't DM him at all.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. Like when, I don't know, if you have your DMs turned off and you don't follow someone, then you can't, like, it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah. It takes some getting used to, and that's what I was talking about earlier but of course, Chris, we're glad that he was able to jump in. It's not as much. I'm glad to see that you're 14 years old. That is why you're wise, the farming and what you're doing. So thank you to you and your family. I know the work that goes into that. And I want to make sure that our farmers and ranchers are recognized. There's a lot going on with our food right now and our water. It's another reason you want to watch for who is in office.
People don't understand farming enough. Like they see like, oh, they've got these tractors in the field, and then they take their combine and boom, we just end up with food on the shelf. And it's a little bit more than that. Like the farmer is working 24/7 basically. He like for me, or like our farm, like we work on the farm, we go to bed. We work on the farm, we go to bed. Or if we work on the farm, we go to bed, wake up, work on the farm, go to bed, wake up. It's work every single day to get a little thing in the field that grows. But each year it gets better. And then you get more grain. And then you make more money. You get better equipment, more land, more sheds and new houses, and life is good.
I think that is a big part of like the fall of what happened to our country is people weren't living on hundreds of acres with family and building a house out in the corner and working together and learning all the remedies to stay healthy and seeing what they're eating and everything like that. My son's 19, and when he turned 18, he went and worked for a local meat processor, butcher, farmer, and they have 500 acres, and it's generational. Their family has been doing it for 120 years here. Before they came to the United States, they did it overseas. So it's a very interesting learning experience for me. You're a hard worker, Dozer. I hear that.
Yeah.
Speak the hustling also.
Definitely. Thank you for that, Dozer. I invited a few more people here to speak that I have looked at your profiles, and I'd love to hear from you. We've got Zen, we've got Conservative. I just added you. Would you like to speak?
Well, I just popped in. It's Sunday. I just stopped working myself. So
I hear you.
It is to work 7 days a week and 10, 12-hour days minimum.
Yeah.
So I get it. And you know what? It's funny that we talk about how hard some of us work, and then at the end of the week, there's real no end of the week to some of us, because I really don't have an end of the week. My weeks are always the beginning of the week, so it's just the way it is. But you come to either love your life, or you come to regret what you're doing. For me, I go in like waves. I pretty much 70% of the time I love my life. The other 20%, I'm regretting. God, I should take a vacation this year. I should take a vacation this year. That's kind of where some of us are at. But I'm looking forward to I came on here to say I'm looking forward to another Trump presidency.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to you guys all
Amen.
going out and picking somebody up and dragging them to the polls. Me and my wife were talking about voting, and she's going, I'm going to send my vote in. I go, hey, why don't you just come down with me on election day? Because that's the way I've always done it, and that's the way I'm always going to do it. And I believe everybody's ways of doing it this time around is probably a good way. I'm just going to do it my way, and I want to make sure it's counted and stuff like that. But I am happy to be here, guys. I'm happy my day's almost over. I'm going to go visit my son, and I'm going to take him out to dinner.
Oh, nice.
Girl out to dinner. So
yeah. Well, stay connected. Stay connected. We'll have Chris tomorrow night live again. It'll just stream right through this channel. This is used for the broadcast, so you'll be able to see what's going on tomorrow night with Chris in person live. He'll be talking with Vegas and Pennsylvania. So, again, I know what you mean about literally, I'm not even going to, I tell the truth 100%. I'm a truth teller. Listen, when Chris got a hold of me earlier, he was like, okay, it's today at this time. And I said, no, it's tomorrow you're live. Today we're off. And he's like, oh no, I'm off on my days. And I'm like, uh-oh, what does that mean? And that meant, Tracy, you need to hustle and market this because I have to do it today. My wife's about to have a baby. And so brand new on an X Space. So to get Chris in here with his wife, literally any moment they could get a phone, like literally she could say, we've got to go. So I'm glad that he got to get in here. But listen, y'all, this is his first like X experience, and they were kind of fed up. And they tried to get me 2 months ago, but the individual they got a hold of at the station did not want to do the story. I'm not going to go there. I respect people, so I'm just going to leave that one alone. I tried. And I said, give it to me. I'll do it. I will do it. I'm already no sponsors, no nothing. It's just been like nonstop for 10 months. So I'm like, give it to me. I'll get it out. And got on the phone with him as explaining X Spaces. But prior to that, I was talking to him before he gave it to Benny. And they were frustrated is what happened. And they just found X and said, here. And I sent a message and said, oh my goodness, we planned to do this broadcast. You do know that I was going to have it on X and put it out there. And he said, nope. Oh, I see someone. He said, no, I didn't. And he goes, I've never done a space, none of this. And I said, it's all good. It's all good. I got this. But I was definitely putting you on. X was one of the first spots I was going to put you. So I was glad to hear from you, Exertive. Check in with us tomorrow night at 8 Central Standard Time. The congressional candidate from Vegas, the Moms for Liberty Pennsylvania team, and then Chris Martini from Triple Martini Productions, which is the man you don't know. I'm trying to grab Shane, and then I just noticed that Albert came in. Albert, you'll have to let us know if you want to speak. Albert, I won't get into much. I'll just go back into our topic, the man you don't know. When they tried to film that in New Jersey was one of the worst experiences trying to get this film. It was that in Maui, and then of course other places banned it. But New Jersey, man, the stories, I've seen the actual responses, what they were doing to people in the theater. I added you as a co-host there, Albert. I got your message. He's in that area, but he'll speak. I see your hand there, Zen. Sorry about that. Go right ahead, hon. We've got Zen. Here you go. Okay. Army. Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't want to change the subject or anything.
Then don't.
I've just got a comment on Peanut the squirrel.
Oh.
I really disturbed by that. I can't believe anybody would be so sadistic to do something like that. I had enjoyed watching the videos, and a couple weeks ago, my niece has 4 daughters, all under 7, and we were over there watching the Chiefs game, and I showed the girls a Peanut the Squirrel video, and they loved it, watching it multiple times, and I just don't know what the world's coming to. I just appalled.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's I'm hoping through this election we will have the world coming together is what we'll do. And I call that patriots. So the people. I hear you though, and I definitely for your service. I also see the border there. That's a big one for me as well with Sarita, Texas. That's Sarita. If anyone looks that up, you'll see that at the border. It's Javier Vega Jr. It's my border agent in my family. Marines first, then Border Patrol. No longer here. If you want to know the truth, I am fine with telling the truth. Then you've got Sergeant Two-Step. Both survived wars that were hellacious, is the word, and ended up being killed on U.S. soil. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to tell you that we unfortunately know the truth of why we need someone in there strong. So conservative, I see your hand. Go ahead.
No, it's always heartfelt when somebody when they're being tugged, emotionally because of what they know and what they've seen, maybe a documentary and so on. And it does the same for me also. But I know, you served. I don't know if you were in the shit and you guys, you saw something really horrible. I've seen some horrible things in my time. I've never served, but I've been, I don't know why, but I'm always at the right place or, the wrong place at the right time because I've always been one of those type of people that have been able to handle stuff like that. I don't know why. It's probably bred in me from getting my ass kicked by my dad when I was a little kid. So I'm not fair and it isn't fair. So this is where I draw my strength from. And knowing that X is here now and the information we're getting is like 1,000-fold. And so what we got to do with that is really important. And it's not to, it is, to become to these type of spaces and talk about it and get that emotion. But as soon as you're off the back, I was right.
Is anyone else having the tuning out?
Yeah, I think he was driving and rubber banding.
Okay. All right. I'm just putting a picture here. I was going to put the border if you want, but I'll do that in a little bit. So conservative, let us know. I think you dropped in with your driving. That's what happened. And then Albert, how are you tonight? Did you get to hear anything from Chris Martini, the director on the film?
No, I missed that part, unfortunately.
It's okay. I recorded it, so you can go. But again,
I was dealing with other exciting news.
Here
in New Jersey because I've been involved politically here.
Oh yeah, that's what I was telling them. Yeah.
So Trump, so for Donald J. Trump, New Jersey's in play, and I just want to pull up.
Oh yeah.
Give me one moment.
Give us the information.
So I'm going to bottom line it because it's a whole long article. But oops. So Trump is ahead. Where's the pull out? So we've surged ahead because of the work of America First, led by Chris. We got by Mike Crispy. So Republicans are, here it is. Hold on.
Can you hear it?
I want to give the correct numbers. More, just so everybody understands, more Republicans have showed up than Democrats. More people are voting for Donald Trump. So, where is their number at?
Are you looking for New Jersey?
Yeah, no, I have it here. I'm just going through this article because I want to get the exact number. They have it where it's like 90 something. I just want to have the exact number because it's impressive.
Mm-hmm. If any of you, Albert, did you happen to see the movie?
No, I'm going to watch it. It's up in the head there. So
Yeah.
I'll watch that. I found out about it today from you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been out campaigning. Me personally, I'm good for about 100,000 voters in this state.
Good.
I've been knocking on doors and making phone calls for 2 different congressional races, 2 mayor races, 3 school boards.
Yes.
So
people forget about the local elections. I'm definitely on top of where I'm at. I'm like, you got to pay attention, especially the schools. So hopefully everyone is. Sometimes you have to pick the lesser of 2 evils, and one of them in my state. That's what I just did.
Well, New Jersey's having a war of morals. Right now, they're trying to strip us of parental rights over our children. Mm-hmm. So much so that they just passed a librarian bill, which protects them, which violates New Jersey law. New Jersey has a law that specifically states there's no ignorance, there's no excuse under the law for the commission of a crime. However, this bill gives implicit immunity to librarians because of what they have in that law. It's called a good faith clause. If in good faith, they're not criminally liable and cannot be sued.
Not good.
So here's some of the totals. In person for early voting, 93,374. Democrat, 90,575. Republican, minor, 61,659. So, which means what we understand is more votes for Trump than there are for Kamala Harris in the state so far.
Yeah,
according to this article.
Yeah, where I am, I'm not going to be in one of the states that is an issue, but keep watching it. I know that Albert, if anyone hasn't, you can follow Albert. Anything going on in New Jersey? Albert actually was running in the beginning of the elections. I met you a while back. So we have a hand here too with, is it Tisha?
Yes, me too. I just hung up with my son in Jersey too, but I'm currently in Colorado, so I like to kind of get the feel of what's going on in Jersey, and he said everybody, and he's young. Everybody's talking to. They're all Trump. Albert, those numbers are wonderful. You just made me feel so much better. It's like I want to go just drive home now. But good news. I'm glad to hear that. Because New Jersey is very conservative. It just really is. I'm excited. So how do you see the movie, guys?
Well, we have it up literally above you in the nest. You can just click on it, and there's a profile already made called The Man You Don't Know. So the profile is already there for the movie. So you either A, on the profile, on my profile, or in the nest of the space we're in right now. And The Man You Don't Know has its own profile now. So that you can watch the movie right off of that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or cast it to your TV or whatever works for you. But yeah. Yeah. So Jersey in the house. Nice.
Yeah. The way I think it's going to go, it looks like Trump can win New Jersey. Some of the down ballots, some of them are going to lose, some of them are going to win.